Right, we're back on the 67 Hail Hail channel for a brand new week. I am Hamish Carton. We've got John McGinley with me, as well as Celtic icon, Celtic legend, Jackie McNamara. Jackie, we're doing a bit more of a positive look today after the return of Celtic. Is that Celtic back? Is the blip over?
Yeah, I think so. A good performance and result. Another cup final to look forward to. So, no, it's been well welcomed, that performance yesterday, as well as the result, which is encouraging.
Yeah, it gives us something to look forward to just prior to Christmas, doesn't it, with the Scottish Cup final. What have you made of the last couple of performances in general? Because there has been a real upturn in the quality of performance, players standing out that maybe weren't before. What have you made of the last couple of games?
Yeah, I think obviously the change of the shape has suited certain players. You know, the Logic coming back in, I think, has been a real plus. And obviously, we've been getting a couple of goals. El Nussi getting a bit of confidence for the goal midweek, which was a fantastic finish. I think even at the back of the performance, there's little bits there in the Aberdeen game last week in the league, getting the 3 goals, but they said the downside was the goals that we conceded in that match. Seem to be getting players back as well, which is important in different positions, and it's starting to look a lot stronger.
One of the things that struck me last week, Jackie, and it kind of won me round a little bit, I was far more defiant after Neil Lennon's press conference last Tuesday. He did a Scottish Cup press conference prior to the trip to Leo, and he was very outspoken, and it was way more like the old Neil Lennon that we've been wanting to see, and I was delighted to see it. Do you think that kind of spirit or that kind of fight and talk in the media can rub off the players sometimes? Because for me, it seemed like the players were just far more urgent and far more aggressive, even on Thursday against Leo. Yeah,
I think they'll be hurting. Like Neil, he'll be hurting with the criticism, and But sometimes, as you said, I think it's a good thing to see Neil angry and see him, up for the fight. And that's the Rangers game. He didn't look like that. So after that, he's came out fighting and stacking up for his record and how he's done over a number of years. Which as I said, it's encouraging to see that, and have that little fight. And that's what we want for Neil. That's what we had him as a player, and what we liked about him as a player. And that willingness to win and fight and for every point, and I think that's sort of lacking a little bit, not just with Neil, but I think the team in that game, the Rangers game, and the response has been good since then. The performances, but also getting different players back. They're getting a little more fitness back. Logic, is
Edouard as well.
Edouard coming back into the start lineup, it just gives you that extra bit, and suddenly the bench looks a lot stronger as well. You look at the bench, and the whole squad is looking a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, Edouard's a massive boost. I've always said he's a game changer for us, the way he plays the game. He can hold the ball in, he can link the play. We're going to speak, I think, later in the week about the front four and how well they're playing at the moment. But I mean, it's interesting that we finally seem to have got the reaction that the fans have been looking for I've been looking for months, basically, since the start of the season. Why do you think we didn't get it right after the Rangers game? Was it the fact we were playing, Milan, and then we went to Pittodrie? Or does it just take time to kind of get out of slumps?
It depends, really. I mean, the Milan game, the first half, I thought they started the game quite at a high tempo, then it kind of fizzed out in the first half. When he changed it, it went to the 4 at the second half. Suddenly we became a threat going forward, rather than just, try to stop Milan playing or creating. So I think it's what suits the team and the players that he's got, and I think the shape has definitely done that. It's allowed certain players a little bit more freedom further forward, coming in off the areas. Whereas when you're playing with the wing backs, sometimes there's not a lot of players to hit. There's not a lot of players in front there that can get in their little pockets, and I think that's where Rogic, Christie especially, are very clever at getting the little pockets that can turn and get in that half turn, and it allows space for Edouard as well. I think that's an important thing.
And one of the things that's been interesting for me is, we've noted before on the YouTube channel that, Frimpong's an attacking player. He's not really a defensive-minded player, but I think just having a player in front of him takes the pressure off him to create for Celtic. when it was the three and he was the wing back, the ball just seemed to be going to him all the time. But with Christie ahead of him, I just think there's more movement ahead of him, and he kind of has more options in the final third. And it seems to be paying off for me. What's your latest thoughts on Frimpong? As the Jeremy Frimpong of the 90s, Jackie, what's your latest thoughts on Frimpong?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, he's been asked, a young lad, as I said, this is his second season. Your second season through experience is always your hardest because people have an expectation. But the guys you played against all last year, they think they know your game. So you need to constantly change things in your game rather than just running at people. Or he's got so much energy, and I love his enthusiasm. And he's only going to get better. He's going to get better defensively. He's going to get stronger. His last pass or his final ball, which will be the next bit, will get better as well because he'll have so much experience in that last third that he can pick out someone. He can have that bit more composure. But I definitely think it's helping his game having someone in front of him. He can link with someone. He's not just, as you say, he's not come up against two players that he's got to try and beat every time. So I definitely think that it'll take the pressure off him offensively, defensively. It allows him more to concentrate on that side, and like the Milan game, he should have been tucking in when it went to the 4, which caused the third goal, although we were chasing at the time. So little things like that I think will help him get to the next level of his game.
Yeah, I think when we kind of look back a couple of weeks or a couple of months when we were really struggling in that period, you looked around the team and Frimpong was kind of our only attacking threat a lot of the time. It was give the ball to Frimpong and work a bit of magic, beat 3 or 4 men and put a cross in for someone. You look at the team yesterday, Frimpong is still a threat, Laxalt's a threat, the front 4, El Yunusi's a massive threat, Christie scores his goal, Edouard's always a threat, Rogic is an absolutely massive threat, so we've got threats all over the team, so it's much more promising for me. I certainly think that we're going to go on a bit of a run now. I'll ask both of you, I'll start with you, John. Do you think we're kind of in the midst or at the start of Neil Lennon Celtic going on a 8 or 9 game winning run?
I don't want to get carried away in terms of that amount of games. I certainly think the next 2 games are very winnable. I think we should be beating Sparta Prague given their problems at the moment and the fact that they're not even playing league football just now. And then I would never fear Motherwell. I know they're a decent side at Scottish Premiership level, but I would back us to play well in that one as well. A lot of squad management ahead. It was interesting in Lennon's comments about Laxalt and the fact he plans to use Greg Taylor going forward. So I think we could see a bit of rotation in the team over the next couple of games, which will be interesting. What are your thoughts on the upcoming matches?
Yeah, same. I fancy us on Thursday. I think we've a good chance of winning. Motherwell game for me is again the most important game. The league is crucial for me. So where he rotates his squad a little bit there, but obviously at the same time you want to get momentum. As you said, they want to get that mentality and just keep, hopefully, but you've got to use everybody in the right way. He's got plenty of players coming back. He's got more options. Especially the forward areas, because it's the movement. When certain teams are playing at the start of the season, it was slow and it was trying to break teams down. They're all behind the ball. The right moment, the right pass, the right shape to hurt them. I think we're getting that momentum now. I do believe we'll go on a good run now. We're not relying on a set piece or a penalty to win the match. We're relying on goal from different areas, which I think is important now. We're not just solely relying on Edouard. So I think the good thing is there's more goals in the team from different areas now. And obviously we've got set pieces there as well if we need. With Duffy that coming up, or the set ones coming up for corners, that we have goals right throughout the team.
Yeah, John, you mentioned the fact that we've got real good strength and depth, and Lennon may look to freshen things up from game to game. We're playing Thursday, Sunday all the time at the moment, basically, or certainly midweek to weekend, a couple of games a week. Jackie, where do you stand on the ability of players to be able to play 2 games a week? Are you one of these guys that thinks Odsonne Edouard, if he's fit, playing pretty much every game? Or do you think that Lennon should really use his squad and bring players in and bring players out? How does that affect the consistency of the team?
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to play 2 games a week. There's no problem with that. I think the worry is the injuries or the key players. You know, I remember at the time last year when Neil was worried there, we only had Edouard up front at the time, the one striker was fit, and you're panicking if anything happened to him, we were being in trouble. Just now he's got, you know, the 4 strikers there that stay on the bench at the weekend. So, you know, they all need games as well for their fitness and their sharpness. You know, Griffiths coming back, or Jackie coming back after his hamstring. So I think it's important they all get little bits of games without putting them in the risk. You know, of as I said, the league games for me are more important this year. You know, the European games are a bonus. You know, if we come out of that well and get good results and good confidence for the players, great. But for me, the league games are the most important.
Yeah, and on the subject of confidence, we've got the Scottish Cup final to look forward to as well. Kind of big game against Hearts. It's strange with it being last season's competition, but it's still a tournament that's there to be won. You know, Brendan Rodgers, I remember when he was in charge, he used to speak about the Betfred Cup that was won in December, saying that for him it was almost the most important trophy of the season because it gave the players a kind of tangible reward for their early season efforts. Do you think that winning the Scottish Cup could be huge for the squad in general, but also, you know, new players like, you know, Barkas if he's back in the team, and Duffy and players like that to get a bit of success?
Yeah, I agree with what you said there, because back in 97-98 we won the League Cup. We went on to win, the Stock Rangers won the 10 in a row back then, and it gave the whole club such a lift, the fans, the players, because with that trophy, although this is last year's trophy in Scottish Cup, but it's still important, it's still history. You know, it'll be dismissed because of what's happened there, but the bottom line is we win it, the same as the league last year. You know, we get that there and it's in the history books, and but I think it's good for all the players to win and have that winning mentality, and that's, in fairness, that's what they've had. You know, we spoke at the season about the concerns of chasing Rangers, seeing the games behind them. The players are used to winning. They've had a couple of wee setbacks there, but they've got the mentality and been through it all that should carry them right through for the season.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers are going to have a points gap, and I think it's just inevitable, just given the fact that we'll have games in hand on them. And we talked in a video a couple of months ago when we kind of had that COVID scare with Ballingoly and had our games postponed. If we were worried about them opening a points gap, but you rightly pointed out at the time, Jackie, that it's easily closable. And for me, I'd rather have a trophy and a cup final to go for, rather than have points on the board. Because although the league is the most important thing, I do think having that trophy is, you know, it's going to be exciting for the supporters. A quadruple treble can't be underplayed, I don't think. You know, the chances of winning that many cup matches in a row is quite unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to that, and you know, whatever happens in the league, as long as we win our games in hand, I'm happy.
Do you look at the Scottish Cup, John, as being, you know, a potential catalyst for us to end up winning the league this season?
I love the Scottish Cup. I think it's a great tournament, and you know, it's just been odd this year. But I think having something to celebrate will be great for the support. It's been a really rubbish year for everyone for all sorts of different reasons, and that October there was just a nightmare. But we're going into November now, and then hopefully have a good December. And it's a good Christmas present, isn't it? I think it's December 20th. So it'll be perfect.
It's a game we should win as well, in reality, isn't it? I mean, I know Hearts are a Premiership team, really, when you look at their squad, but you would surely fancy as Jackie against, you know, a team of, you know, has-beens and players that are done with now.
You're trying to get Jackie.
I'll let you say that. I'll let you say that. No, I massive favourites, and then I think the difference will be the intensity that we can take the game to. They'll be used to that in the Championship, with the games that we play week in, week out. And I think that'll be a difference, you know, once they up the tempo. I know that obviously they got the result against Hibs at the weekend, but I still think we're far too strong for Hearts, definitely.
Hopefully we're in an even better place come that game as well, because I think there's a lot more to come for this Celtic team as well. Great stuff, guys. Thanks very much for taking part. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching. If you've not yet managed to subscribe to the channel, please do that, and we'll speak to you later in the week.